the difference of diet is what changes the approach towards going into veganism, right? Largely, that is what you're proposing.
Absolutely.
I feel the biggest
Mm-hmm.
challenge towards converting into veganism would be letting go of milk, because again, as
Mm-hmm.
as Indian mothers like to say, वो एक glass दूध का रोज शाम को पीना है, and had it not been for Bonvita, I wouldn't have been drinking that milk.
That's milk is a big battle, and I still go around telling, talking to chefs and telling people how bad it is. But I'll start off with a few basic arguments. Nature designed milk to be the primary source of sustenance for a tiny calf that was born at 15 kilos when it was born. Over the course of the next 6 months, this calf has to increase its weight 10 times. In the next 6 to 8 months, this calf is going to be 100 kilos or 150 kilos. And the only thing, the largest part of its diet is cow milk.
Right.
Now, we are not cows. How
Correct.
the hell are we drinking so much milk? I do understand it has been part of our our part of our culture. It's a sacred animal, and doodh pina is considered healthy and all of that. I totally get it. That's because we've been misfed the information. I mean, yes, cows have been an important part of the common Indian or common rural household, but at each cow did not have so much milk that every family had the luxury of having doodh, dahi, butter in the kind of quantities that we have right now.
True.
It is really difficult to replace milk, because in India at least the mithais are made from milk, the ghee is made from milk, the butter is made from milk. Everything is made from milk, and milk is just considered holy and pious enough that it doesn't damage you, so
Yeah.
people don't even feel bad about drinking it. But uh, the reality is 50% of all human beings are actually lactose intolerant. Our bodies are not designed to digest such large quantities of protein and lactose. And but how we never really recognize it, because number one, we've been conditioned to consuming such large amounts of lactose since we were kids. One. And number two, we always put off, let's say you have a cup of milk in the morning, and you feel uneasy, you always put it off to acidity, or kal kuch spicy
Right.
khaya
Right.
hoga, or to some other nonsense. Now my sister, I'll tell you an example of my sister, and she used to really have issues with her stomach, and she loves Bonvita. She's a Bonvita baby just like you, and she can't start her mornings without having a glass of Bonvita. And every day after her Bonvita, before she went to work, she'd feel pukish. Most of the days she'd end up puking or just feeling uneasy for the rest of the day. She never really knew what it was. I did an experiment. I forced her to replace her milk with soy milk for a couple of days, and those days she was fine. And that's when she realized that, oh, maybe I'm not really very okay with milk. Maybe I'm
Right.
slightly lactose intolerant. So that's the thing with most of us. We don't really know if it's really good for us or not. So how do you replace milk now? Of course, there are a lot of options. There's soy milk, doesn't have a pleasant
There's
taste.
almond
There's
milk.
almond milk, very expensive.
Right.
There's rice milk. Everything has a good and a bad part to it. Now,
Correct.
first of all, the whole idea that was sold to us with beverages like Bonvita and Horlicks was it's a energy drink, or it's a drink that gives you the micronutrients needed for kids. Now, is it necessary that we force these micronutrients down the kids' throat through a medium which is not good for them? So why not come up with beverages that are not milk based, still give you the micronutrients, and are healthier and a better source of protein? Why not work towards them? Why not make them tasty for the kids?
Right.
So that's the approach we need to be thinking of. And in fact, at my company, we were really discussing this at length, and we really wanted to really tackle the chai problem. That if you want to turn vegan, you can't leave chai. In India,
Correct.
you've got
Correct.
to have chai, and like in the States or in Europe, you've got to have coffee.
Yeah.
So how do we do that? So we've been working a lot, and we've come up with 4 plant-based alternatives that are ready to go, instant powders, which you essentially mix in hot water, and you get masala chai, you get filter coffee, you get hot chocolate, and you get haldi kesar doodh, that's saffron and turmeric milk. And this is it. What we really need, what do we really need out of this? First, it needs to be functional. It needs to give me the kind of energy and the kind of proteins and carbohydrates and micronutrients that I would expect from a milk. And it needs to be light on my stomach, and most importantly, it needs to be tasty and price effective, right?
Right.
So if we are able to achieve a dish or a recipe like that, let's say if I give you a hot chocolate every day that tasted delicious and is not very expensive, would it matter to you if it's made from a cow's milk or a donkey's milk, right?
Not
It
at all.
wouldn't.
Yeah.
So that's the approach we need to start taking on making taste, convenience, and price the king, rather than the source of the ingredient. So I think the more we move towards that, the better the better our adaptability towards leaving milk will get.
Yeah, I think milk is honestly the biggest rock in the way of veganism.